So hi, it's Ali here and I'm with Kerry. Hi, Kerry.
Hello.
So we are doing our next episode of helping women 40 plus feeling beautiful on the inside and out. And we have a couple of questions today. So let's get started.
The question that I've been asked to ask you is, how can I improve the quality of my life?
That's a really good question. And we all have areas in our life that we are really happy with and we feel that we excel at them. And then we have other areas of our life that we just feel we neglect and we don't really look after. So we are really the standards of our life. And they say that if you raise your standards, you raise your life. So I'd like to ask you actually, Kerry, what areas of your life would you say that you excel at, that, are just the way you want them to be?
Okay, I think an area that I work a high standard is at work. I try really hard to make sure everything's in place for my client and that I use the best treatments and products and give 100% to my work.
Okay.
It's super important to me. Yeah.
Okay. And what about an area of your life that you feel that it's just not up to standard, that you struggle with?
So I think I tend to focus on things and then I get sidetracked and I focus on another thing that I may be a bit like jack of all trades, master of none in some areas of my life.
One. Okay. So I would say the biggest difference, and you might say I'm wrong here, but the biggest difference to something that you're really good at and then an area of life you're not, is with your work. I'm sure that things you do are must to you. You must do it. It's not like, oh, I'd like to. Your standards, the way you treat your customers, etc., are musts. But when it comes to the area that you're not very good at, with focus, I'm sure it's more of a should. I'd like to, I don't know, it's easier for other people, but it's not so easy for me. Would I be right in saying that?
You're totally, that's exactly right. When you say that, work is a must. It must happen and it must be as good as it can be. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the biggest things with being human is that we gravitate, we do everything we can to be true to our identity. So your identity is very much that, you are a businesswoman, you it's important to you, and you will make sure those standards are right because that's who you are. So it's a really, really strong force to define who we are and to act in that way. And I would say one of the things with defining who we are is we decide very early in life who we believe we are. There are people that say, oh, I can't do that, I'm really shy, or, well, no, that's not really me. And it's like, well, when did you decide that's not really you? And who decided it for you even? So I find that with my clients, that they say something and that they know who they are to the extent that it's actually stopping them growing and moving on and making the most of their lives. And I think one of the little stories that really show you how important this is, and if you remember when you were younger, you used to go to the circus and there was that poor elephant in the corner with a chain around one of its feet and it was a little tiny stake in the ground, and you'd look at it and think, number one, poor thing, but then you think, that's not going to hold that big elephant back. Why is it not moving from there? And it's because when it was a young elephant, and every time it tried to move away from that, it would either be shouted at or be hit. So it learned that actually I can't move from this spot. And then when it was big enough that actually it could, with one very easy pull, move away from the area and run away, it had learned that it couldn't, so it didn't. Does that make sense?
That's really interesting. Yeah, that's so interesting how a lot of us must be totally conditioned by our parents and society saying what our boundaries are.
Yes.
And we totally think that, like the elephant, that's exactly how we have to live our lives. But it's not.
No, I know. And even a stronger story to this is they've done like a little experiment and they've put fleas in a glass jar, they've got holes in the top so they won't suffocate or anything. And of course, to start with, they were jumping up and poor little things were maybe hitting their heads, feeling quite dizzy afterwards. But they learned very quickly to actually stop about, half an inch away from the top of the jar. And then they'd have baby fleas and the little ones would learn the same as what the parents did, and they would only jump little tiny bit, away from the top so they wouldn't hurt themselves. But the really fascinating thing is, if you took the lid off, they would still stop about half an inch away from the top. They wouldn't then think, oh, there's nothing there, I can jump further. And that's how
that's crazy.
It's totally crazy.
Yeah. So it is crazy, isn't it? It's so powerful.
It is. And so we act to who we believe we are. And to actually change something, we have to really start believing something is a must. And I suppose just one more little story, and this is about me. I turned vegetarian, as you know, in my 20s. And about 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a vegan. And I, like you, I'm a complete cheese monster. No one ever believed in a million years that I would actually do it and keep to it. And 5 years on, it's not been a problem. And the reason why the change was so easy is that I changed who I was. My identity wasn't a vegetarian. My identity was a vegan. So all I was doing, I was acting to who I actually believed I was.
Okay. So obviously something in your mind changed to make you become a vegan. Now that must have been a strong force for you to actually believe that you're a vegan. It's like a smoker saying, I'm not a smoker now, but they still can't give up. Was that different?
No, you're right. It's yes and no. I suppose if I'd thought I am going to try to be a vegan and I am going to try and give up cheese.
Yes.
Now that is something that is, I'd like to. But if I actually said to myself, I am a vegan. That's who I am. And I am going to do everything to make me as healthy and as energized as I possibly can. I've got something that becomes more of a must. I've got a why behind it. If you just do something for, whatever, I just want to try, then you're not going to do it. But if you actually have a real why behind it, you have the reason behind it, it makes it a lot easier. So it's the same, like if you take the smoking, for instance, if someone says, I'm going to give up, that's a negative. I'm going to try, something that I love is being taken away from me, then that makes it really difficult. But if you actually turn around and say, do you know something, for my children or for my partner, I am going to be the healthiest I possibly can, and I am now a non-smoker, your identity changes. It's just a different, and you have a real reason behind it because you want to do it for your children. It makes it a lot easier to change. So a lot of people would say, well, what areas do I look at? There's loads of different areas in your life. And I would say start with health, because nothing tastes as good as health. If you're energized, you feel you've got so much energy, you're feeling fitter, you can do all the things you want to do. Nothing is as important as your health. So I definitely.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting that how we put health on a back burner in our work. Well, not everybody, but quite a lot of people, because you're busy parents, you're working, you're doing food shopping, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then you think, I'll get round to getting healthy, don't you? But you're right, if you're not healthy, you can't do all the things that you're doing anyway.
We will do far more for someone else than we would ourselves. But I think you have to look at it that actually you being fit and healthy, you can do more for your children, you can do more for your partner, you can work longer hours, you're going to look good, you're going to feel good. So I think you've just got to actually find the whys behind these things. So my first thing would be, look at small changes that you can make in your health. And it's a little bit like everything. When we change anything, it's hard, it's not easy. And we look at other people that are fit and healthy and say, well, it's easy for them. The only reason it's easy is because they put a lot of practice in, and it's second nature. It wasn't easy when your child first learned to ride a bike. It wasn't easy when you first learned to drive a car. But with practice, it's become easy, second nature. So any change,
and it's a must to them.
Yeah, exactly. Any little change to start with is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But actually, if you push through that, it becomes second nature, it becomes who you are, and it becomes easy.
Yeah. I really like what you've just said, how you rate the different areas within your life, and then focus on one and write down what you want to achieve or be in that area. Because I think we don't do that in life. We just deal with the day. Do you know what I mean?
Totally,
and that's why our standards don't get better, because I've dealt with that, and I've dealt with that, but you don't look at what needs to be improved.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yeah, totally. So I hope
it's good to actually do it,
viewers and listeners. So
thanks, Ali, that was good. I like it.
So Kerry, a question that we've had in is about a lady that is thinking about having plastic surgery, and she just wants to know what advice you could give her. So far away, what do you think that someone should do if they're thinking of plastic surgery?
Okay, well, as you know, I'm a bit of a lover of treatments and plastic surgery and things like that. I haven't had loads of plastic surgery, but I have had my eyelids done. So my lower eyelids have been removed and tightened and made look younger. So I think with plastic surgery, if you've got an issue with a part of your body or your face that bothers you, and you can afford it, I say go get it fixed. Why, just go and do it, because you make you feel loads better. My eyes were a big issue to me. They were really heavy, sitting on my eyelids on the top, white eyelashes, and underneath they were great big bags like Lou Bill off EastEnders. And I had issues with people staring at my eyes. I was really self-conscious of them. So I had plastic surgery, and afterwards I feel a million times better about my face. And I also look and think, if I hadn't have had that surgery, how I would be feeling now about my face. And I think psychologically,
how many years on? 5 years on.
5. And I think I would have psychologically just been a bit of like, oh, I look really disgusting, And I know that sounds really vain, but I work in the beauty industry as well, so it's a big deal. It's a big deal for me. And I think, I don't know what area of plastic surgery the lady is thinking of having done, but
didn't say, but I think it's just the fact that, it's the fear of the unknown of, what's the best way of finding, a good surgeon, what should you do beforehand, what she needs to do to get it right, or to be as prepared as possible.
As older ladies, not older, but as more mature ladies, I think we look at plastic surgery a little bit as a bad thing, like, oh my God, we've got that mindset or that belief that you should grow old gracefully. Whereas we're seeing all the younger people now coming through and having
20s having loads of surgery, and you look at them and think, you look stunning, and you're so young.
But it's a different mindset. It's a different way of looking at life. So I think we look at plastic surgery and think, I don't want to look like a 20-year-old on Instagram, all fake and, because we just look ridiculous. But that's how I think we see plastic surgery. But plastic surgery is brilliant. It's brilliant for just tweaking little areas just to make you look like you, but a better version of you. So I think if you are considering surgery, make sure you do a lot of research on your surgeon. Don't just look at somebody that you might see online and they might look amazing. Ask even if you can speak to one of their clients and see, get an opinion, because a lot of people will do that. I would do that for somebody if they were thinking of surgery. So recommendation is a real biggie. I would definitely stay in the UK. Personally, I'd stay in the UK. There are a lot of places abroad that do look like they do really good plastic surgery treatments, and the price is a lot better. It's like half the price than here. But I would worry that if anything did go wrong, at least you can go to the surgeon, knock on the door and say, help.
I would say that, if you're buying, I don't know, a dress or a coat and you want to go for the cheapest, then brilliant. But when it's something that is your skin, and once it's done, it's done. It's not really about price, and it doesn't mean the most expensive are going to be the best, but it's about what they can do and how they are with you. And you see so many deals on the internet of, you pay a deposit and you don't even see the surgeon before you even have it done. And I suppose that's the sort of thing that you need to
you have to have go and have a consultation with that surgeon and see if you get the connection, and see if you feel like, with anything, if you went to a hairdresser's or I don't know, they're having your teeth done, just go and see if it feels right, So I'm quite lucky that I saw a lot of the surgeons work through customers of mine, so that's why I chose the one that I went to. But I think plastic surgery is great. I mean, a lot of treatments now, like my eyes, I could have done under a local anaesthetic now, whereas before, when I had it done, I was knocked out under a general. That's a worry, because it's like putting your body through something for vanity. You feel a bit like crazy. But a lot of things, even lower facelifts, can even be done under a local now. I mean, you have to be brave, but I'd rather be brave than go under a general now. I mean, aftercare wise, obviously, depending on what you're having done, you've got a couple of weeks of downtime as well. When I had my eyes done, it was in January, and I had to do the school run, and I wore sunglasses because you have stitches around your eyes, and you have tape, and you have heavy bruising. Heavy bruising, right? So I went to do the school run with my sunglasses on, looking like some rock star. And I walked into the school, and one mum obviously realised that I'd had something done, and she followed me around the whole school, right? Literally, I was like, if I turned, she was there. She was dying to see what was going on. So in the end, I just took my sunglasses off, and I just went, yes, I've had eyelid surgery, all right? And she was like proper like, oh, didn't expect me to say that. But then I was like, why am I being so like worried about it? Most mums probably have to have a bit of eyelid surgery. So what tips we've covered? Do your research, have a consultation. If you've decided, it's for me, I would, before they tell you all of this anyway, but before you have surgery, just nutrition wise, get yourself as good as you can. Try and get yourself like nice and healthy. Don't drink lots of alcohol for a few weeks, and take certain vitamins. And then aftercare, again, keep yourself healthy, because you're going to heal better. But arnica was a big product that helped me with my bruising. So you can buy homeopathic arnica capsule things at Holland and Barrett and places like that. And there's arnica cream that I put on, and that really, really reduces bruising. That's like a little magic product for healing.
I think arnica for bruising and aloe vera, pure aloe vera for scars, amazing. And how long does it normally take to recover, or does it really depend on what you have done?
I think it really depends on what you have done. My eyes, I'd say after a week the stitches come out. I still had a bit of yellowy bruising, but I could camouflage with foundation. But I was a bit puffy. I looked a bit puffy, but I don't think people would necessarily know you'd had surgery. They might just think you got hay fever, or something's going on, or you've been crying or something. With a facelift, I know ladies that have had facelifts, and I think you need a good 2 weeks before you can go out, because you have like strapping on and stuff like that. But I think with all surgery, it takes about a year before you see everything heals fully and you see the final result.
It settles down a bit.
It's hard though, because when you have something done, anything done, you know what it's like when you even dye your hair. You're instantly looking immediately at the result. So the minute those stitches are out, you're like analysing everything. But you really can't. You really just have to wait, because your body takes a long time to fully heal.
And I might be wrong here, but I'm sure that you took pictures before you had it done, and a few times afterwards. And I think in a way that helps you to see the difference, because our minds forget on what it looked like, and then we're looking at the way it looks. It's like, oh, it's still no good. But actually, if you had pictures that you took maybe every 2 weeks and then every month, you'll be able to really see the difference. I think that's quite a good idea.
I've got really good before and after picture. And it's quite funny when I speak to clients and I'm like, oh, I've had eyelid surgery. And they're like, oh, have you? And I always get my picture out and I go, look what they used to look like. And everyone goes, oh my God. And I think, oh my God, I was so bad. And they're like, oh my God, your eyes look so much better. So I think I do it for an ego trip every now and then. Look how good my eyes look.
Okay, so you have no regrets though. And you have no regrets though.
No regrets at all. For me, it was the best thing ever. There are some extreme surgeries that you can have. I don't know how I feel about those sort of treatments. I just think if you got an issue, get it fixed. That's how I personally feel with plastic surgery.
For that lady that, do your research, make sure you see some of the person's work. Don't go for any of these, buy one, get one free, or a discount. Make sure you see the surgeon beforehand and you feel totally happy, and don't be worried about going, actually, I just didn't feel comfortable, it's not right for me, because it's your face and your body. Go with your gut. And don't go for extreme stuff, because I think especially as we get older, it doesn't look right. It's all about enhancement.
Yeah, you're dead right. I think, again, as you get older, if you try to take 20 years off yourself, people know you've had surgery. And although I talk openly about it, as somebody that doesn't know me, I don't want them to look at me and go, oh God, she's had loads of surgery done,
Yeah. Well, Kerry and I have absolutely loved getting together to talk about the issues for women 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. And we've loved it so much, we've decided to do a podcast. It's called Women Maximising Their 40s, 50s, 60s and Beyond. So please join us, and please don't forget to subscribe. We really would appreciate it. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channels yet, please do so. The links are below. Anyway, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.